Here comes the motherfucking bride. Oh boy. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Movie Buddy. I'm your host Josh Blumenkrantz, and today I'm reviewing The Bride. Directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal, the story follows a gothic romance between Frank and Ida, or aka the Bride of Frankenstein, whatever you want to call it. Whew. So here's the thing. When The Lost Daughter came out in 2022, it was a directorial debut from Maggie Gyllenhaal, and I actually did like that movie. It was a great exploration about a woman who deals with like another mother and their daughter and like just the chaos that kind of happens, but it was like very organized chaos, like it had a central theme and had really good focus. Olivia Colman was great. Dakota Johnson was decent. Paul Mescal was in the movie. It was just a really good cast of people, and it just felt very organized, especially for a directorial debut from Maggie, who we know to love from like her acting roles, and this is her first time in a director's chair. It was just during a time where movies and the pandemic and just all the craziness was kind of ensuing us, and we needed to just let it out. Now, fast forward to today, where we have this movie, The Bride, based off of like Frankenstein's, monster and the bride, the Bride of Frankenstein. It's a classic story we kind of seen from the past, and I don't know what to say in terms of what she was kind of going for with this movie. It just seems a little unorganized. It's trying way too hard for the sake of it, just to impress us, just to make us go, wow, monsters, and putting on the Ritz and everything. No, I just it was fun. Like, I had a good time in parts, but let me first tell you, the first 20 minutes of this movie, it was really hard for me. I don't know. I just couldn't get into the epic scope of it all, just the premise. I was sort of falling asleep a little bit. It didn't wow me. But then once the couple kind of settles and they kind of, accept each other and go on their like kind of rendezvous, whatever you want to call it, that's when it starts to like click a little bit better. And the performances are really good. Jessie Buckley playing the bride, or Ida, if you want to call her that, and Mary Shelley, the author. So yeah, she's got like double duty, and she's coming off a fresh awards season run for Hamnet, soon to win an Oscar for it. It's very exciting. And, she's very good in this movie. If I had a nickel for every time Jessie Buckley screamed like her character in Hamnet, I would have at least 3 nickels, because my God, this woman's just screaming all the time in this movie. And in the beginning, I kind of felt like her character was very annoying. It was weird because, I don't know, I was wondering, what's her deal? Like, she's getting possessed by Mary Shelley, the author? Like, how does that work? Yet, like, several people are getting possessed whenever they are doing these crazy movements. Is that the point of these characters? I truly don't remember the OG story of like Frankenstein's, like the Bride of Frankenstein, honestly. It just felt kind of random to me. I was like, okay, we're going with this. Sure. But nevertheless, I really did enjoy her performance. It's fun. Like, she's having a great time. She's going crazy. And then she, of course, has fallen for Christian Bale's Frank. You could say he's like the creature of the story. We got spoiled so much with like Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein just this past year, and I can see why they moved The Bride, to this year at this particular time of the year. It just makes a lot of sense after watching this movie. It just didn't feel like an awards contender. I mean, technical categories maybe, but like, anything else, not so much. Christian Bale is good. I like his accent in this movie. He's just Frank. He wants companionship. He wants to be loved. He's been spending the greater part of a century looking for a companion, and then he finds it in Ida, digging her up and then kind of having her brought back to life. Annette Bening in this movie, she's good, but like, I just felt like she was such a waste in this movie. Doesn't really do enough for me to kind of like get excited about it. Great actress, but just underutilized. And then there's other people in this movie, like Peter Sarsgaard is like the detective, and along with Penelope Cruz, they're sort of a good duo, but not enough for me to really care that much. The chemistry is like sort of there, but I wasn't really buying it all the way. And they're looking for Ida and Frank, trying to like, question what's going on and stop them from like killing people. At first they like kill people to protect themselves and by accident, but then it just becomes the point of just like, okay, we're just killing people just to like stay alive and be happy. So, you just want them to both be in love with each other and run off into the sunset at the end of the day, but that's just not the way this world works. And I just felt so, I don't know, not excited about this whole thing. I was trying so hard to get into it, and there are moments that I do like the put on the Ritz dance is fun. Everyone's in sync. It's a grand old time. And I do like the technical crafts of this movie. I think Maggie Gyllenhaal already elevated her level in terms of directing just on that front alone with like the cinematography, the score. I was thinking that this movie was a little bit like Joker, and sure enough, Hildor is the person who scores this movie. So there you go. Coincidence? I think not. This movie just felt like a clash of like Joker meeting, I don't know. There's like so many other movies, but it's I'm just not excited about this movie, man. Like I came in with low expectations, and that's kind of where I settled, honestly. You even got Jake Gyllenhaal in this movie, and what is he doing? He's just playing an actor, a famous actor who for some reason Frank is drawn to, and is like meets this guy, and he's like, "Hey, I have really admired your work," and then Jake Gyllenhaal like, "I don't give a fuck, whatever." And even Julianne Hough is in this movie for like literally a cameo, maybe 60 seconds at best, and it was great seeing her on screen again, but I wanted more, and really she doesn't do anything. She's a good dancer, though. You can't take that away from her, and she can sing, but she doesn't even sing in the movie. Whatever, this isn't about Julianne Hough. This is just about the overall movie as a whole. It felt like such a chore to kind of get through. I don't know what happened with Maggie Gyllenhaal. It's like she elevated herself and then de-elevated herself as a director, if that makes any sense. Like, there were highs and there were lows, and there were a lot of lows more than highs. And I was expecting more from someone who showed such promise with The Lost Daughter, which I really did like that movie. But this just was uninspired. Yeah, I just wish there was more. I wish there was more to like kind of chew on with this movie. It was just messy. So many interesting ideas, but none of them were executed properly, especially when we get to the last act. Oh boy. Chaos, 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 craziness for no reason. The way stuff happens, it's just like, why? Why did we get here? How did we get here? It felt rushed. It felt tacked on. It felt like nothing made sense to me. I don't know. I just wanted more. But yeah, if I had to give a grade for The Bride, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. There were things I liked and things I didn't, and nothing to get me over the level to at least a 6. Nah, it wasn't going to happen. And then Oscar potential, makeup for sure. I think the makeup is really good. Anything else? I just don't see it happening, honestly. I feel like this is going to get forgotten about very quickly. Didn't do that well in the opening box office. But it's kind of crazy, though, because like you would say critics don't like this movie. I'm not liking it because of the critics. I'm not liking it because I just don't like the movie, honestly. I tried with all my might, too. But my friend who I saw it with loved it. I know another friend who loved it, too. So that's like 2 people right there. So there are people who do like this, and if that's your jam, that's fine. Like if you're a monster movie lover, go for it. But for me, I just didn't vibe with it, unfortunately. And yeah, that's all I really have to say. And those are my thoughts on The Bride. Thank you so much for listening. If you like what you heard, go and hit the subscribe button on the channel. Greatly appreciate your feedback and your support. And remember, when you go to the movies, bring your buddy and talk about movies. Until next time, bye.